Hello, and hello, y'all. I am stoked to welcome you on back to another episode of Creators Spicy Tea. This is the podcast where we sit down together, we get real, we get honest, and we try to keep each other safe, sane, and absolutely flourishing in the world of adult content creation. I am so excited for today, y'all. We once again have a guest joining us because, as we know, the wisdom of the crowd will always, always, always be greater than that of the individual. Like I've kind of said before, I feel like with a couple plus years under my belt now, and at this point having my business classified as an S Corp and all the BS nonsense that goes with that, I feel like I have a pretty strong grasp on the adult content creation business. But y'all, I don't know anything. I do not know so much in so many different aspects of this industry. I can sit here and say, looking at the giant swath of information that's out there that is still to be learned, which grows daily, I know nothing. So that's why I'm stoked about getting to start bringing in more and more guest speakers to bring in their experience, their knowledge, and their expertise. Y'all, before we get into that juicy goodness, we do have just a small tidbit of business to chat about if we can. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of crappy news. I do kind of have to announce that there is going to be a temporary hold on the mentoring and coaching tiers of the Creator Spicy Tea Patreon. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to take just a hot minute here, focus in a bit on my health, both mental and physical, and I'm going to focus in on my business for a minute too. Of course, we'll still be working in depth with everyone who is on the coaching and mentoring tier. This will not affect y'all in any way at all. And I am genuinely hoping around January, February-ish, I can start reopening them. When I do reopen them, there's going to be a little shift. So the focus is going to be more towards anyone who's looking for help with direct sales, social media, the back end of business, such as safely and efficiently setting up, or even optimizing what you're currently rocking, and sales psychology, customer relations area. Alrighty, y'all. Meeting is adjourned. Let's go ahead. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. Y'all, if you saw the title, you know what we're diving into. We're diving into a platform that I personally do not have extensive experience with. We're looking at Fansly today. And since I don't have that extensive experience with the platform, we're going to bring someone in to chat about it with us. So real quick, my own experience. I joined in June of 2024. The only reason I joined was to just get a little more experience with the platform so that if people come to me with questions or concerns, I would be able to just somewhat better address it. That being said, that account may have been open since June, but the last time something was posted regularly was the end of July. So she's just sitting there now. Don't get me wrong, in comparison to OnlyFans, Fansly's beautiful. I love her. As far as corporatized platforms go, it's a good one. Its support seems to always be on top of requests. They have more chargeback protection than other platforms. I'm looking at you, OnlyFans, directly at you and your lack of chargeback protection. And from my limited experience there, us creators have significantly more control over our page than other platforms that I've used. I do kind of think that I am just so heavily biased as a direct sales and subscription-based Telegram channel girly. I just don't think any platform, corporatized, pre-built platform, is ever going to really stand up to the standards that have kind of been set through my experience in direct sales and with that Telegram channel. It's that freedom, It's that being the only governor of your town. It's gorgeous. But I digress. I think the tiers option is amazing. I love her. Honestly, my favorite aspect of the platform, Fansly, was the in-depth and broken down analytics. They are so sexy. I am a data-driven girly, and I always will be. And being able to see those analytics already calculated for me, oh, it was gorgeous. The number one thing I disliked, the number one aspect that kept me from actively using and maintaining a Fansly account, y'all, I've said it before, I am exceptionally lazy. I hate captions, y'all. I hate having to come up with in-depth captions with keywords and hashtags. No lie, no sugarcoating. It's literally just because I'm lazy. I would much, much, much rather film a 2 to 3 minute video, throw it up, and have all the info in the video rather than having to then make captions. But since Fansly is OnlyFans' leading competitor in the subscription-based adult content creation world, it seems like it is about time that CST sits down and talks about it. This, finally, is where I stop rambling and we bring in the wisdom of the crowd. So, can I get a quick, warm welcome to Kacy, also known as TheLovelyKacy.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Queen. So, I got the honor of meeting you, Kacy, about 5 months ago now. And that was when you joined the Patreon as a mentee.
Yes, yep. Oh, it's been 5 months already?
Yeah, and you had originally joined the Patreon with your primary focus being in promotional tactics, reaching that larger audience, and something that everybody needs help with at the beginning, just learning the overall ins and outs of the online sex work community, right?
Yep, I was new, I was fresh, I had no idea what I was doing.
You know what? Nobody does at the beginning. Not one person. And if they say they do, they're lying.
I at least had the smarts to reach out and get help.
I'm damn glad for it, too. So you've been in the online content creation business for a year now, and you've kind of been sitting on Fansly for about the same amount of time. Tend to vacillate between that top 1% and top 3% of creators. But we have different news for now, don't we?
We do.
Okay, and it's cool with you if I share?
Go, please do it.
Okay, we're popping off. So lately, your engagement, your energy and effort you have been putting into Fansly has kind of plateaued, right?
Yes.
Because you've gone more into direct sales. And again, she gave consent so I could share this. Since starting in the direct selling aspect of the industry in the, I think, a month now that you've been doing it, right?
About 1 month, yeah.
You have seen your, I'm screaming, average daily sales have an increase of 201%. That's so gorgeous.
It is honestly pretty, not just for me, but, for my bank account. But,
hell yeah.
in saying that, when we first talked about it too, you gave me a goal to hit that if I kept going at the rate I was going, I would hit that number. I am, at the end of September, just a little bit from hitting that goal.
Oh, I'm screaming. Oh, this is news to me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
So you guessed right. You went for the correct number, when you say that you are a data and analytics girl, you knew it. You went with it. And yeah.
You achieved it. Hell yes. All right. But today we are focusing in on Fansly. So again, a huge welcome. And I'd love to help everyone get to know you a little bit better. Maybe hear a little bit about your story. If that's
Oh, absolutely. I'm a chatter, so let's talk. So,
yeah.
I actually started the content creation business about 3 years ago, non-spicy. I started on Twitch streamer, loved it, still love it. It's in my blood. But I was always tiptoeing that line of lewd, but not rude. And with Twitch's updates to TOS and they're constantly changing the meta, it got to be more and more difficult for me to tiptoe that line and feel comfortable being within their TOS. I've always been a spicy girl. Always. It's naturally me, 30, flirty, and thriving.
Oh, I love it.
So I made the switch after talking with my mods of let's do Fansly. Because at the time, Fansly kind of seemed like a weird baby of Twitch and OnlyFans. You can play games on there and just do it nude. You can do music on there and have your biddies out. You can do whatever you want, and you can use it like a adult site and just go off if you want to. Fansly has basically the platform where you choose what you want to do on there, and there's gonna be someone who wants to watch it. And I loved that.
Yeah, absolutely. The demographic of Fansly in comparison to OnlyFans, Fansly's growing. We know OnlyFans is the main competitor, but Fansly is finally getting footing.
Yes, and it's people are trusting it a lot more right now. People are going towards it a lot more. It's becoming more mainstream. A lot of creators are going for it because of how, like you mentioned before, Fansly is on top of their customer service. They are on top of customer appreciation, of seller appreciation, and protecting us, which was my biggest thing starting Fansly, because like I said, I was new to the sex work world, and I was scared absolutely messless of chargebacks. Like, I've heard horror stories of chargebacks on OnlyFans. And when you first start, that's a scary thing of like, oh, I could have this money and then it's just gone and no one's there to fight for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick note on, though, Fansly protecting creators from chargebacks. It's to a point, right?
Yep. I was gonna say, if there's a certain price point that they protect at, and it's also if you directly give the service that you have promised to provide. So one big one that they do not protect against is if you promise something in your tiers. So Fansly has a tier system, right? And you add different perks to your tiers. So say you promise that you will give a free video in your top tier, right? Which is a common practice. If you do not give said video, they can refund that tier because they were not given the service promised with their purchase.
I mean, that is because it's just as important to protect our subscribers as it is to protect us, because that will help just like increase the level of trust and understanding we can all have together as a community from all sides. But that is damn good to know.
Yes. So that is a really big one that a lot of subscribers get hit for, because when you start out, your tiers are one of I say the 4 important things that you need to have on there, because the first thing people see are your tears. Right after your banner, your bio, it's your tears, right? So
Yeah.
that should be an extension of you, but should also be, you should be promising and or putting out things that you want to, that are easy for you to put out, and that you are able to put out and willing. So if you don't want, if you don't want to put out that video for free, do not put that in your tiers.
That's a very good point, girl.
Yeah, that's what you have to think about, because that's the extension of you. Your Fansly page is an extension of you and who you are. And you want to be able, and this is for any content creation across the board, is make it easy. Make it something that you can just pop off real quick. I promise, mine is, if you do 50 likes and 5 comments, I send you a video for all my followers, right? It's the same video. I have that video ready.
Smart.
Like, because you only follow once. So it's the same video. I never posted it on my page. They get that video, and that's easy for me because I can just click a link, copy and paste that. It's in their inbox.
I mean, that's really smart. That's making your content work for you, and I love seeing it.
That's what we're supposed to do as creators, is make our content work for us.
Yes, that is why that is one of my personal golden rules that I scream far, far, far too often. But I want to get to know you a little bit more as a creator. So you started in Twitch and then you moved into Fansly and let your spicy flag fly. How old were you when you made that switch? And did you feel like at that age you felt ready? Because this is something you really have to be ready for.
It took some thinking. It took some deep thinking. So I started out with lewds, which I was fine. I was so fine with, and I was 26. I got a late start. I was a late bloomer. So
yeah, no, I get it, girl. I started at 30 years old.
Yep. I was like, you know what? Why not? So I just started with lewds, posting a few, cleavage pics here and there, a little seductiveness. I would play games on Fansly and just have a love instant, but I wouldn't have a camera on there. They would just know they were controlling it. I started out not showing anything. And then more and more, I got comfortable with what I wanted to show. I got comfortable with what I was willing to show, and I got comfortable with what I wanted people to see of my body. Because my rule has always been, I'm good with my body. I'm comfortable. I'm happy. But it's other people that can get uncomfortable, especially with a plus size body. And that was keeping me back of, oh my God, no one's going to want to see a bigger girl playing video games with her bitties out. So that was a lie. That was a big lie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the big lie. Absolute lie you told yourself. Call that out.
That was a huge lie. And that's to all my plus size creators out there. That's a big lie. If you're comfortable, put your bitties out. Like, literally.
Hell yeah.
If you're comfy and that is where your level is, do not let anything hold you back. We are constantly told that. Nah, I have had so many people be like, I am so happy to see bodies like yours out here. And I'm like, thank you for that. I appreciate that. So because of that, and because of the newfound ego that I had, I just started having all flaps to the wind. And by mid 26, I'm 27 now, and I have fully dived into sex work. So that's
perfect.
mine.
And you know what? Honestly, it sounds like you really firmly took your time to develop your boundaries as you needed to, which, you know what? That's incredibly important for everybody, for every creator. But as a larger creator, I guess we could say, which is a part of your niche and brand, it's even more important because y'all get the trolls like no one's business. No one's business.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of niche and brand, what are we? Where do we fall? And where do we define ourselves?
So I am your bubblegum pink dom, which is so funny to me because when I started this, actually, my go-to phrase was, "This B is a bottom." Like I was truly being like, "I'm a bottom." I definitely not. No, I was a brat who didn't know I was a dom. So I've fully given in to being the bubblegum pink dom. I am plus size. I am a person of color. I am queer. So I hit all of those minorities, which also bring in the trolls, which is so much fun. But you develop a thicker skin as you go, especially, and like, I know any person who has had problems with their body in any type of way knows that you build up that thick skin from either being told to eat less, eat a hamburger, eat this, do this. You build up that thick skin, and it works for you in this case. Because there are people who are out here being like, "I love your body, it is the perfect body." But there are also people out here who remind you of what it was like when you were in high school. Okay? And they're out here trying to get that response from you. And your response should
absolutely.
be, check my bank account and come talk to me.
Hell yes, girl. Yeah, that rage bait, those trolls, we don't feed the trolls, which sounds like it's definitely something that was learned via trial by fire. Like, speaking of that, as I said, you've been in here for a year. You've been doing all this for a year. And I know you said your confidence has gone up, but are there any, like, particular aspects of online adult content creation that you just incredibly enjoy, resonate with, and has just like impacted you in any way?
Control. And I say that as not a narcissist when I say that. A little bit, maybe, but I get to choose who sees my body. I get to choose when they see it. I get to choose how they see it. I get to choose what they see. I take on the clients I want to take on. I post what I want to post. It is in my control what I do with my page. That's what I love the most, is everything is in my control. It's my page. I get to make it as pretty as I want. I get to make it as perky as I want, and I get to flaunt it. And same thing with online or with direct selling. I pick my clients. If they come across as rude, I don't work with them. They come across as being a disgusting person, I don't work with them. I don't let them see my body in that way. I pick that.
Honestly, it sounds like your boundaries and your limits are very solidified. And honestly, even for being in it for a year, to have such solid boundaries and limits is impressive. It took me minimum a year, and you know what? I'm willing to say I'm still learning and developing my boundaries and my own limits. So that's fantastic.
And I mean, to be fair, give yourself a bow, because that's a lot of that has come from me being your mentee. Honestly, when I first started this, you know me, I had no boundaries. I was like, oh no, should I do this? Should I do that? I know how I was. And through your program and through just getting to know you and you being the boss bee that you are, has helped me completely change my view, change my progression going through this, and has helped me become the seller I am today.
You're gonna make me cry.
Don't you dare cry.
I'm
We're
like,
too cute.
Actually, okay, we have to move to the next one because I'm gonna cry. Okay, flipping it. What aspects of the online spicy content world piss you off, grind your gears, flabber your gasps? Just what is not great for you that you're still experiencing or that you experienced in the beginning?
The competition. That is something I was not expecting, because I come from a space, because I make a space where I am I say a girl's girl, but I am a girls, gays, and theys girl, okay? I will make a space safe, and that is the space, and I will push anyone up. My goal has always been, if I make it, the people around me who are close to me will also be making it. And that's
yes.
how I've always seen it. And I did not realize the amount of people who do not see it that way. That was a big come to Jesus moment for me, of like, wow, not everyone wants to see everyone succeed.
Yeah. There is this innate competitiveness, especially when we look into direct sales, because in direct selling, there is a client and they come once for a specific sale. And if you do not get that specific sale, that means somebody else will, and you just don't get it. Creator Spicy Tea, we've put out a resource or two on the insane importance of community and education over competition. Because if we can rely on each other to educate each other through our own experiences, we can, as a whole, come into the industry with a stronger, more united front.
And the thing is, we have to too, because the entire world, to a point, is against us. So we should not be going against each other. In my opinion, we should be lifting each other up. There are already so many stereotypes against us, so many people who take hits against us, who think that, like, this is not, and for some people it's not what they chose, like, that's a different story, but, like, I chose this. I wanted this. And that's it. Anyway, you need to, like, support each other in this. The world's against us. There are stereotypes, there are people who are putting us down. Heck, even the banks, okay, don't want to accept our hard-earned fucking money sometimes, sorry. And it's tough. It's so tough to deal with that, and I've had to learn that. And I truly believe that, especially with Creator Spicy Tea and other things that are out there that are going to be free and resources, that you should be putting that out to people in this industry, so that way they know and they don't make easy mess ups that can be avoidable, or they understand what they're getting into and they know.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Yeah.
I think veteran sellers, veteran creators, we have not requirement, what we should
responsibility
be doing. Thank you. Responsibility. We've learned the lessons the hard way. So now it's our responsibility to turn around and protect others from having to learn it the hard way too.
Yep. And that's even me as a not vet. Like, I don't think I'm a veteran. I don't think that. I've been here a year. I think I have not leveled up yet. But I'm working on it daily. I am always educating myself to the point where I have knowledge that I want to share. So that way the next person that comes in, and the next person who's like me, who needs a mentor or who needs direction and who's looking for that, has a place they can look, has a safe place they can look. That's important.
Which reminds me, at the very end of this, we're going to have a couple minutes where Miss Kacy is going to share some up and coming news. But before we dive into that, And before we dive more into Fansly as a platform itself, let's talk about the funnel, right? The social media to social media profile to paid profile funnel. So do you have a few specific social media platforms that you see better conversions on, or do you just try and shotgun and hit everything? And when you are promoting, what you doing? Are you nude, safe for work, lewd, hybrid?
So it's hybrid. It's so hybrid. It depends on where you are. I shotgun that mess. I can't aim to save my life. I need a shotgun. Cause at least I'm gonna hit something, eventually. So
Hell yeah, girl.
I shotgun that mess to heck and back, and it works to a point. Some are less lucrative than others. Like Instagram is hard. Instagram is so hard now. Twitter is good. Twitter is going down, but it's still better than Instagram for conversion, for getting people there. And on Twitter, I say lewd, not rude. I do lewd photos there. Sometimes I'll do a little flash of a biddy, but I'm not doing full out, like, anything I put into customs or anything that I wouldn't have behind a paywall. I do not put out.
Okay, so there's like a strong differentiation between your promotional content and then what you have locked behind the paywall.
Yes. And even on like Fansly specifically, because of their FYP, I'll have some things like Fansly's become more like TikTok, which is great for us because TikTok has came down on creators, right? TikTok has went off and they said, we don't need y'all here. So Fansly kind of took that up and has a For You page, like the TikTok For You page, that basically takes the videos and pushes them out. They take photos too, but videos are usually seen as doing a little bit better. Though recently I learned that's not always the case, which is fine. We can talk about that later. But put up videos, right? And you can literally take the ones that you would put up on TikTok that maybe are just a little too spicy or a little too much cleavage on there, put those on the FYP for Fansly and shoot those out so you don't miss using any content. Because all content should be used. And it sucks when you have a TikTok and you're like, oh, I showed a little bit too much cleavage, like they're gonna spank me. Put on Fansly. Like, that's how you can do that. So that way you can use everything that you have made, because that's gonna be what sets you off from other creators. So TikTok, not so much. Fansly FYP, yes. Reuse those TikToks. Reels, reuse the safer work TikToks, put on Reels. Reels is up and coming, and honestly, I get a lot more traction on there.
You know what? Yeah, Instagram completely changed their Reels algorithm to help prioritize smaller creators' Reels to reach a larger audience. I'm so happy to hear that there's still ways to utilize that change in the algorithm.
Yes, there are so many different ways. And even on like the spicier Reels, you can get away with a lot more on Instagram. I know people are like, no, Instagram, no. If you do it in the right way, don't just flaunt it, but hint at it, Do it in like what's the demure way? In a way that
in a cutesy way.
Yeah.
In a mindful way.
In a mindful way. You can get away with it. And I'm saying that it's allowed. Cleavage is allowed. A little bit of booty is allowed. But do it in a cutesy way. Do it in a way where you're not like, hi world, I do sex work. Do it in a way where it's like, I just sat down a little bit and my skirt's just slightly hiking up. Oopsie. Like that.
Yes, so suggest it rather than show it.
Honestly, that's my tip right now for most social media is suggest it, don't show it. That's
like
where
it.
a lot of socials are going. Yep.
I like that concept. The suggestion, not the shill. I like that a lot. So that's socials, and that's a fantastic strategy to share. But let's talk more on the platforms themselves. Because currently, you not only have a Fansly, you also are rocking ManyVids as your clip site. You have a Loyal Fans and a OnlyFans. But your primary, beyond direct selling, is Fansly, right?
Yes.
So let's look at that. And let's break it down to just the two. The age-old battle since adult content creation platforms came around between OnlyFans and Fansly. Why did you primarily choose Fansly as your main originally? And why do you stick with it as your main?
Well, for the second one, I don't like change, and I will stay with something until it is dead. That's maybe
We're
not
in
the
the wrong
answer,
industry.
but I will stick with it until it is gone or I am. But at least in the case of Fansly, it was a good choice. So OnlyFans versus Fansly, I will pick Fansly every time. We've already talked about support. We've already talked about the chargeback protection to a point. The tier system is amazing, whereas like OnlyFans, you get one price for all your tiers. I can charge, like, I have a basic, I have a midway that gets you a few more, and I also have a fet tier. Because one specific thing that is very different from OnlyFans and Fansly is Fansly allows a lot more fetish content. They are fine with that. They let that and still push that, which a lot of creators were upset with OF, because that's a big thing. Less, still fetish, but less. If you've ever been to a Cracker Barrel and you've played that game, it's called the peg game.
Oh my god.
Okay? Fansly allows the peg game to happen. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you go to Cracker Barrel and you play the peg game, Fansly's the place to be to play that peg game.
I'm deceased. I'm dead. No, that was perfect. I've never had a better description in the entire world. That will forever be how I describe this.
No, they allow that. They allow a lot more, which gives the creator a lot more freedom to make the content they want. And me diving into a lot of fetish work, I want to be able to reuse customs I make. I want to be able to reuse my content and make more money for me, right? Instead of just that one time. And I don't want to charge the same price, one price, especially if people don't want to see that. So on Fansly with the tiers, you can select which tier sees what. So if you have a fet tier and you post fetish content only to that tier, your other subscribers will not see that unless you select it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was one
it.
of my favorite aspects too. Because in my mind, that makes so much more sense. Because as we know, on OnlyFans, we can have up to 3 accounts. That is 3 accounts that you have to manage. And in my brain, it's just so much easier to have it in one place and categorized. My type A brain, I love it.
It's beautiful. It's fantastic. And then even the wall system is better. And Fansly still has a vault that you can use that I've recently learned that people actively use the vault. Did not know that. I was like, OnlyFans vault? You guys use that? You don't just, upload from your phone every time?
Yeah, those vaults really do help. After a while, those vaults
help.
Lifesavers.
They really, truly are. Fansly has that. They have the walls to separate content. I'm a Fansly baby. And, I love her. I love her. She takes care of me. The people on Fansly are so much more chill. Like the fact that I, the other day, got on and played Doom, which is a shooty shoot pew pew game, and just had my biddies out and people were just vibing. They were like, I like the fact that this is Twitch, but like biddies. Everyone loves those.
Twitch, but porn. It's perfect.
It's perfect. It really is. And it was so casual. Unlike some other sites where they're literally just like, get your flaps out. I don't like that. I actually hate that so much because I'm just like, I feel like they're in control in that situation. I don't want to feel like they're in control. I
completely understand that.
So I have more control over what I put out on Fansly. And that goes back to what I liked about direct selling too, is the control. I have control over the tiers, have control over my page, what I put on my page, and I have control over who sees what content.
That was another aspect that I really love about that platform. And so we've already chatted a little bit about how you have your page set up, but would you be willing to kind of break down your account setup or your profile and tier setup just so we can get kind of a better idea on it?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, my go-to phrase is your entire page should be like your bedroom. When you walk someone into your bedroom for the first time, what do you want them to see? What do you want to stand out? How are you going to show your personality? Yeah. And so your page should be your bedroom. This is going to be the first thing people see. And I have 4 main things that I think everyone should have made and worked on, because in today's day and age, there's an oversaturation of sex workers, right? Because of OnlyFans blew up, there's a huge saturation. So you have to make yourself stand out. You have to show what is that special thing about you. And especially with people who are paying for their porn, they want that connection to you. They could go to the hub if they really wanted to, but they're coming to you and paying you. So what are they looking for? A connection. And what's the quickest way to get connected to someone? Going in their bedroom, seeing what they like.
That has many connotations, and they are all correct.
Yes, yes, it does. Yes,
they are all applicable here too.
It really, truly is. And I'm just like, wow, I hit that right on the nail, didn't I? So I was starting out, my banner. My banner is one of the most important things when you see there, because that's the first thing people see, right? Make it personal. Make it cute. Say what you do on the banner. They give you enough space. So like, I have woman of color, queer, plus size, neurodivergent, spicy streamer on mine. That way they know instantly this is who I am. I have my name, so you know my name. They won't forget my name. And it's also the same across every social. I have 3 cute pictures of me, so you know what I look like already, right off the bat. They're not safe for work, they are safe for work pictures. But they know.
Okay, so a little spicy, but still safe for work? Is that what you meant?
Mm-hmm. It's me in a cute little bikini. That is it.
Ooh, give them a tease.
Give them a tease. Because you want to give them a reason to follow first, and then you want that follower to have a reason to subscribe. That's
smart.
The funnel.
That's smart. You can't hook a fish without fishing first.
Mm-hmm. And if people who have, so I always recommend unlocking your page and allowing followers to view some aspects of it. 1, that helps with the FYP, but 2, you're not going to just subscribe to something if you don't know if you like it, right? And money is a finite resource right now. A lot of people don't have it. So when they're spending it on you and subscribing to you, you have to give them that quality that they deserve from that hard-earned money that they worked for. And
yeah, absolutely.
That's so important. So the funnel for me is getting them to follow. And then once they follow, I always do so with my posting to give a little bit more in depth. every post I do, I have one safe for work photo that I will allow followers to view, or I will allow anyone to view it if I want to hit the FYP, especially if it's really safe for work. And then right next to it, I will have a locked photo that is not safe for work that you have to be subscribed to see. So it gives them that tease. You can also have a blurred preview of the photo on top of it before they unlock it. So they can kind of see what they're getting, but they're not getting everything. Because that's the tip on Fansly, is you just want to hint at it until they sub. And when they sub, then they get the whole fish. But until that, you hint and you bring them in.
Which do you think works the best for conversions? Just adding the safe for work and the locked media, or the blurred, maybe even with safe for work and the locked? Which have you seen work better?
So for me, having a full image of safe for work or like bikini stuff, everything's covered in it, right? And having that unlocked so everyone can see hits the FYP. Then they get curious. They're looking at it. They see some of the pictures that you have unlocked or videos, because like I'll have some videos unlocked. And those are just little TikToks that I do that I'm just lip syncing, but I look cute in it. I'll have those unlocked. Oh, she's so adorable. She's so pretty. I want to see her biddies. Sub. And that's how you keep it there. And at that point, that's when you choose what you put out to your subs and what you put out to give them, or what you make custom, or what you put on your menu. Because I also have a menu that I post on there the same way I do for direct selling. It's the same menu. If they want customs or anything like that, I still do that on Fansly. Now, the trick is on Fansly, don't mention any other payment platform. It's the same thing as OnlyFans. Don't mention that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Good point.
So, when you're doing that, do not mention any other platform. But have a menu that people can look at. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to look at it. But you have your TOS there. You have your prices there, and you can go back to it. And when they ask, oh, I didn't see this. Oh, but it's on my wall. It's pinned to my wall. It's pinned to my page. I send it out with every follow.
Great. I was going to ask, what does your, if you even have it, what is your welcome message?
My welcome message is, I have a video. That's mine. Sorry. So I actually have a welcome video where I just say, because I think that's more personal to people, instead of just a message. So I sent out a video where I'm just like, hi, I'm Kacy. This is a little bit about me. Thank you for joining my page. I say appreciate you because my whole thing is peaches. So I really appreciate you being here, and here's some fun things I have. Then in the text I have some of my menu items. At the bottom I do have if you go through and you like 50 things and you comment 5 times, I will send you a free video. And that's only for first-time followers. Because, and here's the biggest tip, engagement is more important on Fansly than what you're putting out. So if you want something to pop off on the FYP, they value engagement more than if it's a video or if it's a photo. Doesn't matter. If it's getting engaged with, it will be pushed.
That was exactly one of the huge main questions that I see from so many creators starting on any platform, but even Fansly itself. How in the mother F do we get these people to engage? Because that's what keeps us alive, like you said. So what other tips, tricks, lessons, experiences do you have on that?
You have to give, especially in this day and age for me, you have to give some for free. you have to give a little bit. You can't just lock down everything and expect people to be like, oh, the lovely Kacy, absolutely, I'm going to give her all my money. No, you can't do that. And unfortunately for us as creators, like that's kind of just how it is. So I try and do little things like I'll do spin the wheels, right? And I'm like, instead of saying if you sub, you do it, I'll say every person who does 5 likes on the pictures, because you can track your likes on there on Fansly of who likes what. You can track that. You can see which media did the best. You can see how long people viewed each media on there. There is so much, like you said, on Fansly, that you can see that is beautiful. It is beautiful to see it.
I was going to ask pick your brain on that too, because with those huge broken down analytics, like other than just tracking those likes and everything you just mentioned, how else do you take those analytics and turn it into revenue and income and engagement?
So my favorite one right now, and Fansly just rolled this out a little bit ago, is they actually show you what hashtags have done the best that you have used. They will show you the top hashtags, how many views you got on each hashtag that you did, and like where those views came from if you click on it. So now you know which hashtags to use in your next post.
It's sexy.
It's so sexy.
When I saw that come out, I went down a rabbit hole. I just looked at those reports and I just sat there and I'm like, how can I use this data from this platform on other social platforms that rely on keywords and hashtags as well?
Which, like, for me, that one kind of like hit me a little bit because some of the hashtags, I'm like, really, this is the one that we picked, like this is the one that did well. Well,
I feel you.
like,
Something we see TikTok creators say all the time is that it's the content you don't put work into that will do well. And the content you work hard on is gonna flop. And it's so frustrating. And isn't it funny? Because it's those hashtags that we think about. We do keyword research. We really think, how does this relate to me? And then some generic something will work better.
Yup. And that's the other key thing, is how many hashtags you have and which ones to use.
What would you say a good range, like a good number of hashtags would be?
Well, the perfect number, in my opinion, is 9. People will say 10. I say 9, where you do 3 ones that always relate to you, 3 that relate to what you're putting out, so what the content is, and then 3 of your best performing, or 3 of the ones that are trending. Because you can go through the FYP, which I suggest every creator do. Like, I lay down like once a night and I just look through porn. I go on the FYP like it's TikTok. And I just go through, and instead of TikTok, I'm looking at Fansly FYP and I'm seeing what are the common hashtags. What are people hashtagging that are getting on the FYP right now? And I will take note.
Market research is so important.
And I will always do 3 that are trending. So my perfect number is 9. You can do more, you can do less, you can even do one of each of those just to test. And I would say always test. It's not going to hurt you to change up your hashtags, to just see which ones can do better, to do worse, to see if a different mix will do better together. Take chances, get messy, make some mistakes, and figure it out, okay? Miss Frizzle knew what she was talking about.
Yes! Oh, you are touching my millennial soul, my childhood. Weird context for it, but I'm living for it. So, since we are on the For You page, because everybody is always asking how does this algorithm work? So we already mentioned 9 is a great, comfortable range for hashtags. And thank you so much for that breakdown of which ones to use. But do you think there's a certain number of posts we should put up per day?
1 to 3 is my golden number. So I basically do it at, and this is very, I guess, crude, whacking off time. Okay? So when do people whack off? Right? Morning,
End of
noon,
the day,
night.
bright in the morning.
Yup. So I always have one spicy in the morning, daily, like, oh, this is just me. This is just for you to get to know me. Lunchtime, nighttime is spicy. And I will always do 2 photos, 1 video. And schedule that.
Very smart.
Just to see in my video, literally some of the best ones are you doing casual things, but naked. Legitimately, content does not have to be perfect on Fansly because people are looking for getting to know you. Getting to have a piece
people
of
are
you.
looking for a human.
Yes.
Nowadays, like, content is great, but that's not why people are purchasing, because content is free. It's out there everywhere, free. They're coming for the person because they want you to be a human so that they can feel more connected to who you are.
Yes. So, like, just filming, like, I'll film getting dressed for work. I'll film cooking dinner. Like, I'll be like, oh, look, this is me getting ready for bed. Like, bedtime photo. Anything like that that's super easy that I'm already having to do and post that.
You gotta fold laundry, take your shirt off, record it.
Absolutely.
Don't even worry about editing.
If you do direct sales with that too, fold your socks.
Oh, smart. Fold the physical items you can then sell.
Yep. Always make your content work for you.
So another question I see a million times, and this is heavily debated. I have seen answers on both sides of the aisles that swear by it. Do you personally allow your followers to message you? And if you do you allow them to do it free or require that they tip?
So I do a hybrid just so I can do both because both have pros and cons. So what I usually do is I have it locked down to subscribers, completely locked, or you can at least pay $1 to send me a message. If you want to pay that $1 to troll me, good, I have your money. If you want to pay that $1 to say, hey, I want a custom of this, and this, okay, you've paid.
That $1 just turned into more money.
Yes. And then, at least once a month, I basically announce on my timeline that for this weekend, I'm unlocking for followers. You're gonna get a lot of trolls, but you will get that person who's like, I didn't want to sub, but I really want some content. Do you mind making like some custom content for me? Who was just waiting to do that. And my followers know I do that once a month. Pick a weekend.
Very smart.
And I announce
it.
Do
you schedule it out?
No, I should. That's me. That's on me. I absolutely should. And that's a smart idea. It's so smart. But sometimes it depends on if I'm in the mood because you will get people who come in just to be like, Biddy, I like them. And sometimes my mental health is not in the mood to be dealing with that. So I do it when I have...
I can understand that for sure.
Yeah, I do it when I have peak mental health and peak, I know it's coming, I know what's gonna happen, and it's worked out. And then I've gotten some subscribers from that because once they see that you put effort into your custom content or even just a custom picture, they then subscribe after that.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
So combining both of them, because I'm always the person where I will never say one or the other. I am always that gray area person where both have pros and cons. How can we make them hybrid? How can we use both of them?
Yeah. And I'm really glad you just mentioned briefly mental health because Something I see a lot of creators struggling with lately, and you know what? I'm going to be blunt and I'm going to be honest. This is something that I have been struggling with myself lately. I'd love your perspective on this. How in the hell do you motivate yourself to pump out content, to be subscriber and customer service forward on low energy or low mental health battery kind of days? Or do you just say, I'm not doing it today?
I just say, I'm not doing it today. Honest.
Hell yeah, put your own brain first.
I will put my own brain first every time. I'm lucky that I basically pick out once a week, and I pick a makeup look that goes with generic makeup look number 7, and I will pump out different outfits on that one day because I'm feeling it that day. And then I have bulk content for the week or for however long, depending on where I am. And that way, if I have a bad day, I can take that. I can still be posting. Nobody's gonna know, but I can take that bad day.
Batch creation, build a bulk in your backlog so that when shit goes south, you can go a little bit south with it, but your platforms won't go with you.
Yup. I do the same thing for sexting. I have sexting sets. I charge cheaper and I let them know this is not live. Like, I always am getting consent with, like, this is not live, it's gonna be cheaper, and I can sext from bed and they can still get pics and vid, but I'm not actively having to put in that extra work at that point.
You don't have to necessarily perform to the same level.
Yes, that's the word. So it's about prepping when you have your good days, prepping yourself for your bad days. It keeps you going. It keeps the train a moving, because in today's day and age, consistency is what gets you flowing. And there are some days I don't post. Like, I didn't post yesterday. I was getting a 7-hour tattoo. I'm not posting. You don't know me?
God.
No, absolutely not. Who am I? And okay, that's on me. One day's not gonna hurt. Like, I want creators to realize that, is that consistency is key. One day's not going to destroy your entire platform. Hell, 2 days aren't going to destroy your entire platform. Take the time you need. Put yourself first.
Consistency is key, but you can't pour from an empty cup. Consistency is key, but the primary focus of every aspect of your life, your business, and yourself should be your own health and needs as a human being, not as a creator.
Absolutely. 1,000%. And we need to start putting that first.
Yes, absolutely. Earlier, we kind of chat for a hot second about Fansly support. And this is a question I see often when people are initially trying to decide on a platform, because we know OnlyFans support is notoriously kind of crap. They're not there for us a lot of times, and a lot of times they will give us pre-formatted, just bot answers, right? Personally, from my experience, Fansly, world's better. And you know what? I do want to say something in case everybody doesn't know about it yet. Fansly has opened a official subreddit with actual support employees who take platform suggestions, who comment back, who do all that. And that is is it official Fansly or Fansly official?
I think it's official Fansly.
Official Fansly. Yep. I'll be sure I'll link that in the description box here. But how about yourself personally? Do you have experience with them? Are they better than OnlyFans?
Yes, 1,000%. When I first started, I had some questions because of my living arrangements and how that was going. And instant feedback. Instant. I sent in a support ticket. Someone was contacting me within an hour. On Fansly, you can literally see they actually refer back to, because there was a non-official Fansly advice subreddit. Their official Fansly refers back to that Fansly advice column and will answer in the Fansly advice column. Like, they're in tangent.
The fact that they are reaching out and treating and seeing their creators as their community. Because in a way, we subscribe to Fansly by paying them their fee. And the fact that they're taking the extra steps to be extra, quote, customer service, quote, forward is, I mean, it's already worlds better than most other platforms.
And that's the other thing with that is, so Fansly does take the 20%, the same as OnlyFans, right? But the way I view that is I'd rather pay that 20% for the insurance that they give with chargebacks and for the customer service that they give. OnlyFans gives you none of that, takes the same 20%. Fansly gives you something back for that 20% that you are giving.
Golden point.
Yep. So I would rather pay out that 20%, have that insurance, have that coverage, have that customer service, than have absolutely nothing from other platforms.
Yeah, I fully agree with you on that one. So you mentioned you came from Twitch, and you've mentioned you do a lot of gaming on Fansly, which means you've done a bit of live streaming.
Yes.
I've seen so many questions on it. Were you, I'm assuming coming from Twitch, you were fairly comfortable for your first stream, but going in, were you kind of nervous? How did you decide on what you were going to do? And I do remember you mentioning at one point to me that part of the reason you chose Fansly is their streaming capacities. Can you talk on that?
Yes. So, again, came from a streaming world. So I already had a program called OBS, which if you are a streamer on Twitch, you know what OBS is. It is a platform that is free to use that basically connects your sound, your camera, any plugins you have, anything, feeds that to Twitch, and that is how you see the stream from your computer.
Yeah, a lot of cam sites like Chatterbait, etc. use it too. So if you're coming from a camming world, Fansly might be a great option.
Is absolutely a great option because it is integrated with so many different things like Lovin's. Almost everyone uses Lovin's, right? Almost everyone, not everyone, but has a direct integration with OBS to Fansly directly. So you can see the coins on your OBS. You can see they have their own file you download. It's a plugin for OBS. Works with Fansly, works with Lovin's, connects the two seamlessly.
And coming in with all of that experience from Twitch, I can imagine that took those jitters down.
It did. One big thing is like not having bots. That was a huge thing. Fansly specifically, there is a person out there who has made a Fansly bot that does, if you're coming from Twitch or coming from any other streaming platform, you know how important bots are to you to automate, to say hi to people, to
your tip menu, tell you when someone's tipped for what.
Yep. And making a bot that does all of that and more that works seamlessly with Fansly. It's so good. It is so good.
I'm excited to see that come out.
Like, I'm already using it on mine, and it makes things 10,000%. And it's very user-friendly, and even the creator is very, very sex worker-friendly, is doing this out of the love of their own heart to make it easier for people to stream on Fansly. Like, they're not getting paid. They just decided to make this bot for it. Adore them. Adore them. So I will give them all the props because it was so hard coming when Fansly had just started and I just got on there and I was like, where did my bots go? I can't keep saying hi to everybody.
I feel you on that. So we gotta start kind of wrapping towards the end of this. And if it's okay with you, for the last couple bits, I'm hoping we can get a little bit personal.
I'm fine with it. Again, I'm chatty and I have a big mouth, so ask away.
This is why we get along, girl. Looking back, you have this year of experience on Fansly where you've developed your career as a adult content creator. What's one lesson that you had to learn either about the platform itself or about the online adult content creation business in general? And I'm talking a lesson that you had to learn the hard way, that you don't want other people to have to learn the hard way.
Boundaries. 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 Do not let people push you to doing something you are uncomfortable with, to doing something that we know as performers, as creators like this, that like our stuff's gonna get leaked. It's gonna happen. Do not let anyone push you to doing something that, if it gets leaked, you'd be like, well, oopsie poopsie.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I will not cater to certain fetishes.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it gets out that I do sex work, that's fine. I don't care. But if I engage in certain fetishes and it gets out, that might be a hell of a lot harder to explain away. So that's a damn good point.
Yup. Always be aware and go into it knowing your boundaries. Because they can change. We're humans. We evolve. We get better. We get stronger. I did not do fetish work when I first started. I was strictly vanilla. Only vanilla. And now I do fetish work. And I'm okay with that. I am comfortable with that. If that gets out, I have made peace. I'm good. But I had to do that. I had to come to that realization. Not anyone else. And do not let anyone push you to do something. Be strong in your boundaries. That's my lesson.
I always thought of it as boundaries need to be inflexible to the outside world, yet evolvable within yourself.
Absolutely.
All right, to close out this episode, but this has been amazing. What would be your biggest tip for Fansly newbies?
So, the first month, Fansly itself pushes you out. I would have your content filmed, ready to go before making the account. If you know you're going to do Fansly. And for that first month, schedule. Push.
Build your user base while you're being pushed.
Build your user base while you're being pushed. That a lot of people do not realize that first month Fansly is pushing you out. And it's not like other ones where it's like the first week or first whatever. No, it's the first whole month. So before you make that account and you've decided, I'm making a Fansly, I want to do this, get your content filmed. Even if it's one photo a day, that is better than nothing.
Absolutely.
And putting that out for once a day for a month.
Thank you, Kacy, so much for that tip. And y'all, to close out this episode, can we just please say huge thank yous to Kacy, aka TheLovelyKacy, for coming on in, being so open, sharing all of her experiences. And for really quick, you have some exciting news coming up in your world. So please, girl, plug.
So, I know this entire little podcast has been about Fansly, which is my bread and butter. It is what I know, it is what I do, it is what I research. And I am actually opening up a Patreon myself where I help mentor and or work with you to build your Fansly, to work on your Fansly, or just to get new eyes on your Fansly, because sometimes when you're staring at it, you miss things. You can miss simple things that will just happen if you get a fresh set of eyes on it. So that is actually called the Peachy platform Playbook, and you can find me at Peachy Playbook. It is there, and I'm so excited. I already have some free resources on there. I will be keeping it up to date on all of Fansly news because I am constantly watching out for things, and that could just be a place to get some news on what's going on in the world of Fansly streaming and other platforms.
We are so excited to see that up and coming. I'm so proud. I'm proud of you. I'm proud to know you. And just as some random person who has no right to be proud, I'm gonna say it anyway, girl. You're impressive as hell.
Don't make me cry now.
Kacy, thank you so much. Her links, along with all of the links to the resource mentioned throughout this and resources that I think could really pair well with this, they're going to be in that description box below the podcast episode for you guys to dig in a little bit deeper. Make sure you are checking out Kacy. Kacy, thank you so much, honey.
Of course. Thank you for having me on. I love this.
Thank you, and thank you all so incredibly much for sitting with us today. From everyone in the Creators Spicy Tea team, we hope you are staying safe, you are staying sane, and y'all, I hope you are absolutely flourishing in this batshit crazy world of spicy adult content creation.